Okay, so I'm back and we are going to start doing the pages for our folio. So what you will need right now is two pieces that are 5.5 by 8.5 and two pieces that are 6 by 7.5. So this is just a smaller version of the folio that I've done a few times on my channel with the plastic sleeves for pictures. So here is, okay, the 8.5 by 5.5 sheet, and you are just going to, I'm not going to do this already. Again, I wanted to prep some of this so it wasn't really long, but you're going to score 1/2 inch on each side of the 8.5, and then at the bottom another 1/2 inch. So just down like that. And it is going to create a pocket. So you have that. And then your next one is the 7.5 by 6. And you're going to score on the 6. You are going to score 1 inch. And you'll see what that does. It creates our flap for us. So those that have tried this, I'm using the bigger tutorial for the bigger folio, know how this will turn out. But this is basically what we will put down to, basically we're stacking our pages on top of each other. So let's just make sure these are burnished. Then I will miter the edges. And I'll take that one off. And then I'll do the same for this. And it just needs to be a little bit, doesn't even have to be as much as I just did there. So just a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and fold all these in. Again, pressing down. And then this is going to go on here like so. So it'll look like that. So I always do this part first. So just lining up the corners. And if you ever have like a little overhang, that's fine too. You can just trim that later. Let me just make sure I got this up here where I want it. I think we are good. And then just put that down. Oops, got the corner stuck in there. So this is just my preference. You do not have to do this. I take some Scotch tape because I do not put decorative paper all the way down. I just put it over that so it's not as, when you go to put something in there, it doesn't catch as much. I don't know if you guys have ever done that. Put a tag in and then it catches on the lip of where that edge is. And you could take your score tape all the way off if you want to. I just do a little bit at a time so that I can make sure everything's on good. It is so hard to do this when you can't really hover over your projects because you don't want your big old head in the camera. Okay, so there's one, and then we're just going to go and fold that behind there, and there is one page. Now we're gonna do that again with the second one. Miter the corners. And don't drop it. That would be good. Like I said, you guys could have a comedy hour. Who needs the Grammys? You could just watch a comedy show right now. And we'll go ahead. I just like to do it wherever the hump is. I don't know why I always have to do it from a certain angle. Okay, so again, let's fold these over, get it all burnished down. So it has a nice crisp fold. And this is where too, if you wanted to, you could punch out a notch here. Totally up to you. Okay, so we're gonna take a little bit off. And line this up as best as possible. And again, I always say that because one, I'm telling myself if I don't get it down straight, it's okay, Tiffany, you'll be fine. Is really who I'm talking to when I'm saying all this. Because I do want it to be totally straight, and in the crafting world, it just does not always work out that way. Oh my gosh, I keep getting this corner stuck. Okay, so I did number 1 error, which is no big deal. I'm just going to put a little glue to make sure. That was kind of messy. But nobody's going to see it. Okay. So we are good. Then the Scotch tape. Okay, and it's only because I'm going so fast. And I know you guys all say it's fine, I can go slow, but I just said, yeah, that's not me. Okay, and then fold it over, and then just pull the sides out, and you're good. And fold this over. Just like so. So there is our second page. So the page that is in the middle looks a little different. So these are the ones that are you need 2 that are 5.5 by 4 3/4, and then you need 2 that are 3 3/4 by 6. And you're gonna score, as you can see here, 1/2 inch on the 4 3/4 side, and then 1/2 inch on both sides of the 5.5. And then on the 6, you're going to score 1 inch on both of these. And I just write wherever I can because I mess up all the time, as you saw in the original folio where I forgot to put down my magnet. And, you know, I always figure out there's a way to fix it later, but I try to do this, and I'll tell you, I do this and then I still mess up. All the time. So again, I'm just going to cut off the corners here. And you could go straight across when you do this. You don't have to do it at an angle. It works either way. Okay. You just don't want to take your corner off of your pocket. There's that. And then we will take these off. Just like that. Okay. So we're good. So now, again, we're going to fold all these sides down. That and give it a nice burnish on the ends. I'll do this one too. So usually when I do my albums or folios, my projects, whatever, I try to do it all kind of like assembly line. So I will normally, if I know the style of book I want to do, if I'm remaking one of my own, I will cut everything first, and then I will go through and put all the score tape on there, then I will burnish. So I just kind of do it assembly line style. Okay, let's see if I could do this one where it's not going to get stuck. I don't know why it keeps wanting to get stuck on me. So I got that down. Oh, and let me just kind of tell you as you guys are doing this. So I have the measurements at, let me see. 6 3/4. I just want to see. Yeah, this is fine. So you want to go, because when you go to put these on here, like so, you just want to make sure, and it'll show you when you get to it, that they do not overlap whatsoever, because then the flaps won't lift up. So sometimes I will score just a little bit on the inside of what the measurement is. Just so it's a little bit smaller than the actual book. Not book, page. And if they end up overlapping, again, it's fine too. You just will have to work with it overlapping. It's not the end of the world if it does, because I'm pretty sure we all have done that before. And it still works at the end of the day. Okay, so same thing with this one. I probably should have just had like one not done, so you guys didn't have to sit through all this boring talk. I'll try to put on the videos, label it by, you know, what we're actually doing. This is driving me crazy. I'm not paying attention. Hold on. I love this tool. It's my favorite tool ever. I could always undo everything with this thing. I don't even know if you could still find it, but luckily my best friend gave me a few of these. So, and yes, for those out there, I have many best friends, so I don't want anyone being hurt that I said that. I'm just kidding. No one cares. I know. I'm losing my mind. It's all good. Okay. So have that, and then again you're gonna fold this over. And basically this is how we're gonna attach the pages together. So it's just stacked pages. So first one. So it's gonna look like this when we are done. And I always just kind of put it on there to see if I need to come over just a little bit. Which, yes, just a smidgen, which will be fine too. Okay, so we have our first one. And just going off a little bit just to see. Yeah. Okay, pull that off. Of course, that side didn't stay. Is anybody like keeping track of all the boo-boos I'm doing? Are you guys playing like a drinking game with all my issues? I don't drink, so that doesn't work for me. But it could be a fun game every time Tiffany messes up. Take a drink. Okay, so just line that up with the other one. Put it down. Eventually, you guys will stop asking for a tutorial, I'm sure. And then when we do this one, we do have to snip this. And we could do it right now, and I'll just show you how. Let me see, what is this? Why am I struggling? Yep, that is right. So I'm just trying to center this. And then you can go in and just kind of snip this down the middle. I just miter the corners a little bit. And that still might need a little bit off. Okay. And even if it's not exact when you go to put it on, that's fine too. Because it will, you could just go in and, what am I trying to say? Just snip it like I've done 1,000 times with the scissors or an X-Acto knife, whichever. Okay. How am I doing on time? Can't even see it. Oh my gosh, I got nervous thinking I didn't even press play. Ugh. That would have been terrible. I would have just given up. Just saying. It would have been done with for sure. Would have been like, sorry, no tutorial for anybody. Okay, so just burnish that. So there is our main pages. And then we are going to stick this in our folio, our cover, that we have right here. And it just goes just like that. So you just want to make sure that you don't get in the way of where the bend is. I don't know why. Usually I do 1-inch tape on here. I am not sure why I did not this time. But I definitely don't like fiddling with 2 pieces of tape. And so on this folio, I did make the pages the exact size of the album. So you could do them a little bit shorter and just keep changing the measurements. That's literally all I did from the original tutorial. I keep changing the measurements up. So there is that. Now here's the thing. So this, because this is stacked pages, you don't have room for a whole bunch of extra embellishments unless you build a gusset in between. And I've thought of doing it. I haven't tried it yet, but I feel like if you do that on a stacked page system like this, it will collapse at some point. Maybe the top can have a 1/8 inch gusset, but that's the only thing. So, okay, so I just want to do the pocket. So let me just show you guys. For the insert here, all I did was took a 7 1/4 by 10 1/4 sheet, and I need a magnet there, so I need to make sure I don't miss that. Okay, so this normally in the original tutorial is inside the album. I decided on this one, I did the 7 1/4 by 10 1/4, and then I scored it at 5 1/4 on the 10 1/4 side, and that's what this side is. So I made a flap. So in the original, it's just this page, and then this is inside, but I decided I wanted a flap here, if I could talk. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. And then for the inserts for this, you will need 2 that are 3 5/8 by 9 1/2, and then you're gonna score at 5. So that is what this looks like here. I used my corner scallop punch to make the edges, and then those just slide in like so. See, I need a magnet. It's gonna go like that. So you'll need 2 of those. Again, that's 3 5/8 by 9 1/2, and then score at 5. And it's totally up to you. You can actually make this longer and have it come out the same as this by adding another 1/4 inch on there. So it could be a 10 1/2 sheet, and then you could have it longer, but this is just how I did this one. And then here I have a flap, which I will show you. So this is where we are at. So this opens up, and then we have a flap right here. This is my boo-boo. I'll tell you how I fix that later. So, and then these are these 2 flaps. Okay, so we will take this, and this is 3 3/4 by 4 1/4, and then you score 1/2 inch here, and this does need a magnet. And I'm just going to miter the corners. I don't have score tape on this one. You still can, but it's easier for me on this one to use the glue because I'm going to tuck it inside here. And I'm not measuring, I'm not centering, I'm just gonna eyeball it, and it lands wherever it lands. So we are just going to And it's going to go inside the pocket. So just like so, put it in there. Just make sure no glue seeped out, and we're good. So we have a flap. I did, on the other one, I did a tab punch with my Stampin' Up! Tab punch. And then one more insert for the other pocket. So this one. And this is, let's see. I think this is 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. And that is just going to go in here, and I just rounded the corners with my corner punch, which I did the 1/4 inch or the 1/4 inch punch on this one, not the 1/2 inch. So that just goes in just like that. So we have that, and now we are going to do the pocket that goes right here. So for that, we need a piece that is 3 by 6 1/4, and then you're gonna score 1/2 inch on 3 sides. And again, miter the corners. Just like that. Goes out of there. And then you're just gonna fold those down. Oh my gosh, I feel like this video is taking forever. Ah! And hopefully, let's see, because based on where you put your, yeah, we're good. No, that did not go on the right one. Nope, I'm not on the right slot. Okay, so hold on one second. So based on where you put this, if you go too far in, you're gonna have to change the measurement of your pocket. Well, hold on just one second, because I folded it on the wrong one. And when it's that tiny of a difference, they're sometimes hard to fold. Okay. So we have your pocket should be 5 1/4. And it's just going to land just like that. Okay. So I don't know why, but I keep getting my corners stuck, but we're going to try. I'll just take the stupid corners out. And it is hard. You can kind of see how when you do a folio like this, it doesn't open all the way up necessarily because of how it's in. So I'm not putting this all the way down to the bottom. Just close to it. Let me see if that's where I want that. Yep, that's good. Moving just a little bit, and that went in crooked. Okay, time to drink. Drink again. Oh my goodness. So, take this off, and I am going to do my tape just right there. I'm just telling you, it does help. You don't have to do this. And normally I would do like packing tape, so it just went a little higher, but it doesn't matter. This works too. Oh, took that off. See, losing my mind already. Okay, so we have our pocket in, and then when you go to do the decorative paper, it just slides in. Just take a piece out. You just slide it in like that and then glue it down. Okay, so we have all of our pages, and now we need to do our waterfall. And that is, actually I'm going to do this side. So for the inside cover, pointing at it, it's not even in frame, we need 2 pieces. One piece is, let me see, what is it? It's 3.5 by 4.5. That's this one here. And then you're going to score 1 inch on each side. And then the other piece is 2 3/4 by 4.5, and you're just going to score 1/2 inch on each side. So this one again, I just come in slightly. Let me just show you on the scoreboard. So if you were normally going to score it, it would be at the 1/2 inch and the 4. But I came in a little bit, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm right here. So I came in between the 4 and the 3 7/8. So right in between there, because I want it a little smaller than this one to tuck in. Now I have done, and I don't know why I still don't do, where I just do a piece, and I'll show you here, that is long enough, and just cut a slit in it to create 2 pockets. And that totally works too. Sometimes I do things, sometimes I don't. I think on this one it was just because that's just what the, what do you call it? The tutorial was. Not this one, but the original folio. So it looks like this, and then you're going to tuck just slightly this one in like that. So now what you can do, and it goes on just like this, but you could easily just get a piece of paper that is this length, whatever length you want it, and cut a slit in there. And if you do that, I would put just tape on both sides of it to make sure it stays intact, you know, just with all the wear and tear going in and out. But I've done that too, and it works out just fine. Hopefully that made sense. So right now we are going to stick this piece down, which was the 3.5 by 4.5, the same way we've done all the other pockets. And again, this one is not going to go down all the way to the bottom, but we do want it all the way over to the edge here. So I just want to make sure it's lined up with the edge of the cover. Okay. So burnish, tape. I can create a song for you guys if you want saying that. Just kidding, totally. It wasn't really funny, but. Oh my gosh, this video probably won't even upload it so long. Okay, so we are almost done with that. Now you're gonna take these 2, and normally, I don't even know why I did it like this, because normally I put this in between the other piece before I even stick the whole thing down. But we're gonna go for it. Hopefully it fits. So just kind of get it in there. Takes a second to get the other corner in. Oh my God, is my head totally in the way? Whew. Sorry if so. Okay, so we have that in. And I don't do anything with up here because we're going to cover that with decorative paper. So I do have on here that we are going to put our magnets down. So we can just do that right now. So I use the basic gray magnets, which I'm sure everybody is used to. You can do 3 if you want to on the other one, because I had already stuck paper down there. I did only 2 and it worked just fine. So I'm just going with that. So I'm just going to put those right there. And I just try to make sure they're all going the same way. So the plus and minus is the same throughout the book. And if you don't have a plus or minus on there, you just need to put them on top of each other and you'll soon find out if they are working or not. But that will go here, but I'm not going to put it down yet until I put my, what do you call it? My matte piece down first. Okay, so we have that. I think we will stop there right before we do the waterfall, just so I can have a chance to get this video loaded. Okay,